Hey, it's Christopher Smith here in Las Vegas, Nevada, and we're on the final day of the new Media Expo. In fact, we're back at the hotel room at the Mandalay and just kind of wrapping up the event and collecting our thoughts. With me, as you know, Scott Parent, the producer of the podcast here at Relevantly Speaking. Scott, thanks for joining us.
Hey, I'm always behind the camera, but I'm not usually on the camera. So this is, I guess, a treat, but maybe not.
Maybe not. We'll see how it goes. Yeah. So it was your idea to come to the new Media Expo when we actually had first met and started doing Relevantly Speaking together. Over the course of the years, what's the changes that you've seen in both, audience focus, attendance?
Well, you have to think about the fact this is the fourth year it's happened, and the first year in Vegas. But the fourth year it's happened, and podcasting was really in its infancy when it started. And what that did was, for the first year and even into the second year, there were a lot of people figuring out how to create content, how to record audio, how do I record video. Video wasn't even really anything at the first one because there wasn't the video iPod or the iPhone. So people were focused on audio and how do I record that stuff? What's an RSS feed? How does it tie in with a blog? So people were trying to figure that stuff out. And then as the years went on, they started to get that stuff down to a decent level, and then they'd say, okay, now how do I monetize this? And the second or third year, there was really this sort of boom, and podcasting was the buzzword, and everybody wanted to advertise on a podcast. Now the ad revenue is not dried up, but it's being spent differently. And so now these larger brands are saying, well, we want to advertise on shows that aren't really the YouTube type user-generated content. We want professionally produced content. So I've seen sort of a resurgence this year in people really saying, how do I take my content to the next level? And especially now with video drawing so many ad dollars in, it's harder to produce than audio. So a lot of people here really trying to take their video level to really the next phase so that advertisers find that attractive to work with them.
So advertisers are it wouldn't make much sense anymore to just slap banners on the top of podcasts. The advertisers are looking for great content, and the content producers, the publishers, are actually upping their game.
Absolutely. And what we're seeing is there is this shift away from sort of a CPM model. And publishers love that because they know what their audience is. They know that if they tell the advertiser, hey, as long as we serve this many videos, we get paid this much. But advertisers are saying, wait a minute, we don't know how well those are converting. We don't know if your audience is even responding to our campaign. So they're saying, we want to try a more performance-based approach. But with that, in order for the producers to actually make their money, they need to make sure those campaigns are being executed well and targeted correctly. Banners aren't working there. We're seeing things like product placement, believe it or not, which is actually working really well. And also looking at those shows that are really hyper-targeted to a specific vertical and lifestyle. Those are where I think you're going to see the greatest impact in performance-based marketing, and we're definitely seeing that shift this year.
From what I heard about previous events for New Media Expo, there seemed to be more, I would say, fringe community that was there. This was very business-oriented.
Yes, absolutely. And a lot of people, you hear the buzz leading up to going into Las Vegas, that people were saying, well, it used to be this sort of, gathering, and we got together and there were the room parties, and that was fine. But as we talked to Tim Berkwin, and the audience will see this interview as we get it, posted in the coming weeks, he was really saying, but if we're going to be taken seriously as an industry, we need to actually put on a professional face. And part of that was coming to Vegas, where larger companies that sponsored this year, like Sony, were saying, we're actually willing to get in a room and talk about this. But in Ontario, California, we're not. That just seems like a bunch of people that are, there with their little video cameras shooting each other, and it's kind of fun, but it's not real business. Mm-hmm. And companies want to see more business out of this industry.
So final thoughts as we wrap up this daily diary here?
It's been great to be here. I love Las Vegas. I think, a lot of conventions and conferences happen here, and for good reason. There's a lot to do, and I think people really have to keep focused on getting the things you want to get out of this conference, and make sure you're talking to the people you want to talk to, and following sort of the right track to, if it's that you're trying to learn about how to get your production to the next level, if you want to talk to people about advertising. So you just really need to try and focus yourself. But I think it's a really valuable conference for people to come to that are interested at all in blogging and podcasting.
We'll probably be here next year as well.
I hope so.
Me too. So it's Christopher Smith and Scott Parent with Relevantly Speaking, coming to you from Las Vegas.